Where are you from?
I am from a very small city in Georgia. It's called Rica, Georgia. Yeah, it's past Six Flags. It's way west. Like so, past Six Flags. It's exit 26. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm really trying to. I know that's really far fetched, but you know if you believe it, it's very possible. Like so, what Drake did with Canada and shit, I'm definitely trying to do the same thing with my city. So remember the name is Rica, Georgia. It's past Six Flags. You keep going west. It's exit 26. That's when I was shit. That's why I was raised since I was 6. I was born in Atlanta, but I don't claim it because I wasn't raised there. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's just kind of the easy way out. It's like because every nigga want to claim Atlanta and oh I'm from the city and I'm this and that. Like that's not to me that's not different. So I'm trying to just be about what I'm about and where I'm from, and that's Rica.
So you a country boy then?
Pretty much, yeah.
What was it like growing up out there? Were you like riding horses or?
It ain't. It's that country, but I didn't go that country. Growing up out there, man, it's real. I would say it's it's real diverse. Believe it or not, a lot of people came from the city, and I noticed like going to school and stuff. It would be some dudes from Atlanta, some dudes from different states, cities, that just moved to like Rica / Douglasville is also a popular city around that area. So it's like a big melting pot really. But growing up out there, it's like country and the suburbs. So I kind of just grew up real clean. I didn't really get into a lot of trouble other than like, you know, what kids get into. No violence really. Just genuine kid fun, you know, nothing really crazy.
So what inspired your move from Rica to Atlanta?
Just because I know you can't just stay in your hometown and be as big as you want to be. You always gotta expand and branch out. So I know me just sitting there and staying in my hometown is not gonna do it. You know, you got to be sometimes in the main city, which for Georgia is Atlanta, and you know like the big cities like LA and New York and like et cetera, like so that's really what inspires me to see more and do more and be more. Like anytime I'm out here in Atlanta, you can't really help but to get inspired, you know, the high-rise apartments, restaurants, women, food, money, etc. So that's really probably that's what inspired me to branch out and stuff.
Do you feel like the move was as beneficial as you thought it would be for your career?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, because like I said, there's only so much in the city I'm from. You see the same faces. Sometimes there's really no progression around. Like if you stay around the same people that you're on, because you notice they really not on much. So it is beneficial. I will say, later in my career, I would like to go back, you know, and do much more than what I can do now. But right now, I know I have to depart and go and see other people, see new faces, see new places. That's pretty much it.
So what inspired you to do music? Were you doing music since you were a kid, or?
Nah. I actually got into music very late. I would say like my senior year in high school, so 17, 18. Really what inspired me, I guess growing up around it, my brother, he always did music, and we also had another friend that did music too. So I was always just like on the sidelines, like just observing. And at the time, I couldn't rap or do anything music-wise, so it was real entertaining to see. So I'm like, oh, I want to do that, or that would be interesting to do. Growing up, for the longest, it was just sports. I was a sports fanatic, just head on, nothing but sports. I didn't care about nothing else. I didn't do nothing else. But like in high school, like my senior year of high school, I just had like an energy shift, and I started just staring away from sports for some reason. I stopped getting less passionate about it really. I will say it was kind of like an epiphany type of moment or something, but one day I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just try to like write something on paper and see what it comes out to. I was just bored in class. I was feeling inspired, so I was just writing stuff. When I got home that day, I took it to my brother. Like I said, he had already rapped. So he said, "Hey man, this ain't bad. It's decent." Like he said, "So let's try to put it to a beat. Let's see what it, you know." And it turned out being okay. So I'm like, maybe I could do this for real. And it's a God-given gift. It's a natural thing. Like I feel at peace when I do it. So I feel like that's why I'm supposed to be doing it. Shit.
After you wrote the song and delivered it to your brother,
right,
what happened next? Did you drop it? What happened?
We didn't drop nothing for a long time because, like I said, it needed a lot of like polishing. It was very raw, but sometimes that's the best stuff. But we knew we wasn't really ready to drop stuff. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that part too. I didn't start solo. I started doing it with my brother. I'm now solo, but because I needed someone to show me the ropes, so I was doing music with him. We built up a catalog of music. The more songs we did, of course, the better we got. I think we didn't start dropping stuff to maybe the 20th song we made. Yeah, that's really like how we started off and stuff.
Okay. Are you independent or are you signed to a label?
Independent. I'm doing everything myself. It's very tiring.
Would you like to be signed to a label, or are you one of those people who's like, yo, I'm not signing, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business person? Like, where are you at on that?
I would like to be signed, of course. The right deal, of course. I wouldn't want to be in nothing where I feel like, I can't breathe or there's no type of freedom for me to move around and maneuver. So yes, I would like to be signed, but for the right reasons and the right situation. Because like I said, sometimes it could be draining. It could be, what's the word I'm looking for? Discouraging when you're doing everything yourself and nobody really trying to help. So I would like to be signed.
At the stage that you're at now in your career, how important is having an entrepreneurial mindset?
I think it is very important, even though I'm still underground and progressing. Everything starts with your mindset. So I feel like you need to think of things of how you're going to think in terms of how you're going to do things down the road too as well, versus just how you're doing it now. Entrepreneur mindset is very important because I feel like if your business ain't right, really nothing else is right. You can't concentrate if your business is all over the place and your money ain't being handled right, and you know what I'm saying, like your deals ain't in place and stuff like that. So that is something that I very much want to like hone in on and very, very much improve. Because if that ain't right, then really nothing else is right around you.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned earlier that that girls could possibly be a distraction here in Atlanta.
Yeah, man.
Do you feel like you've been able to stay focused in your career in terms of like dealing with, maybe having some female fans who are interested in you?
Right. I will say at times it's gotten the best of me. I'm not ashamed to say it. I mean, because I feel like at times we all get off course or whatever. And it's natural for, if you're a young man at that, girls could be a distraction. They could fuck you up, get you off course. So I will say it's okay to have fun every once in a while. I try to balance it because I know sometimes having women around you is necessary because they can do things for you that men can't. You know what I'm saying? But not too much to where the point where you invested in them so much you can't even focus on really the whole reason they around you is how you was carrying yourself and what you was doing for yourself is the whole reason they was around you. So I'm not ashamed to say yes, and they have thrown me off a little bit, but I try to like reset real quick, man, like snap back into it and be like, yo, there ain't gonna be no females left if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do on the rap side. So right. That's really what's more important right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Has being an artist affected any of your personal relationships?
Yes, it has. Of course, with your parents, it ain't always an easy thing to accept. Like the first thing they hear is, "Oh, I want to be an artist. I want to rap or something." Like parents aren't always receiving of that because they just don't understand it quite, and it's very unpromised, as you know, like being in the fields that we are. So I would say it's affected my relationship with my parents to a T. My mom still believes in me very much, but she's more of like just concentrate on now, and you have to have a 9 to 5 to do this. And I'm like, Ma, I don't want no 9 to 5. This is what I believe in. So yeah, parents. It's affected relationships with friends as well, because the ones you really think are supposed to believe in you, really sometimes they ain't even all that supportive like that, and sometimes you got to find out the hard way, and it hurts. But it's best you find out sooner than later. So it's affected friendships, like I said, relationship with my parents. So yeah, it can cause a little diversions and stuff, but I feel like it's worth it.
So what is Even Steven's studio process like? Are you like a studio rat where you in there all the time, or like how do you structure making your music?
Studio, trust me, if I could be in there every day, I would. The point I'm at right now in my career, it doesn't allow me to be. I got to find the money, the time, the engineers. Sometimes when you're not at a certain status, people don't take you as serious, and I hate that, because everything nowadays is numbers. If they ain't see you ain't got like 20,000, 30,000, oh, I'm not gonna DM him back. I'm not worried. So I appreciate you for even having me on here, because I don't have the most followers, but everything's about opportunity. So, but studio process, I would love to be there every day. Trust me though, I'm always writing. So by the time it is time to get to the studio, I'm prepared to do like 4 or 5 songs. I will say I would like to get better at my freestyling, because I do have to write everything I do. I can punch in and do like but I like to think it and be like, okay, maybe I could have said a more creative line here, or said something differently here. I don't like repeating myself, so if I found myself saying something in one song, I don't want to really say it in the next, or say it a different way. So that's how I am at the studio.
You mentioned that some people would give you a hard time if you don't have as many followers.
Correct.
Or the appearance of having a lot of followers.
Right.
How important is image for an artist today?
Image is very important. I feel like everybody has a different image. Like, what works for one person may not work for you. But whatever your image is, I feel like you need to perfect it, enhance it. Because if you don't have a image per se, really there's nothing for people to look at, or like for people to like fall in love with, or get lost in. Your image could be very structured, but then it could be all over the place. But that's what works for you, and people are just gonna fall in love for whatever it is. But I feel like you have to know what it is first before you can even sell it to anybody. So image is very important. It don't always take the most money. You can go to the thrift store and get you some sweats and a hat and call it a day. It don't always have to be designer. It don't have to be Louis, Gucci. You know what I'm saying? So, but image is very important.
All right. So imagine this with me.
Okay.
Even Steven is rolling down the street in Hollywood. Okay. He's in a red drop top Ferrari.
Okay, cool.
Balling. He got some Cubans on.
I can see that.
Who's playing on the radio?
Shit, it depends on the day, really, man. But 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be Yachty, man. It's gonna be Boat, or maybe Uzi. Mm-hmm. Those are probably, or Drake. Those are probably my 3 top artists that's gonna be playing. If you don't hear me playing that, then I must have just been feeling something else at the time. But odds are, it's gonna be them. If you rolled up next to me, it's gonna be one of them 3. So.
So you mentioned Yachty, mm-hmm. Drake, and Uzi.
Right.
Who is your biggest musical inspiration?
Drake.
Drake?
Probably Drake, and then Yachty.
Okay. Why?
Drake, I feel like he's just even on the level he's at, which is very high, I feel like he's still relatable to common people, everyday people. you know, if you listen to some of his lyrics and his songs, I just feel like they're very relatable to what everyday life consists of. You know, like we said, girl problems, money problems, friendships. So he's probably my biggest music inspiration. Then, like I said, next is Yachty, just because I like his come up story. If you didn't know, he's actually from Mableton, which is like that's West Georgia too. So it's very close to where I grew up and stuff. And just to see how he did it, you can't really help but to commend it and respect it. So them two probably.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if you could collab with any artist, who would you collab with?
Either Yachty or Drake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or Pierre.
Everybody wants that Drake Stimmy package.
Oh, for real?
Heck yeah. Everyone I ask who they want to collab with, they say Drake. But obviously, because Drake will then,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, they're going to blow your career up.
Yeah, of course.
Facts.
But I feel like a lot of, like I said, Pierre, people don't really give him enough credit as an artist. Of course, his tag is everywhere. You can't find really many songs without it. But as an artist, I feel like me and him make similar music. So I would love to do really a whole tape with him. So I hope he one day see this or whatever. But I would love to do a lot of music with Pierre.
What's been the most challenging moment in your career so far?
For me, I would say the most challenging is probably just getting myself out there, the exposure part of things. Like I said, it's very like challenging presenting yourself to people sometimes, and they really don't receive you because they don't see it for what it maybe can be or for what it is yet. They underestimate you because of how you're appearing at the time. So I would say the exposure part. Also, I feel like a lot of people gatekeep as well. I feel like they cool with it as long as they friends and themselves and like eating from the table and oh yeah, like this our event and we ain't gonna let nobody else in. We ain't giving them no clout. We ain't giving them no. So the gatekeeping part has really burdened me a lot. Like I said, the exposure part. Another obstacle, I guess, really getting in my own way too as well. Not believing in myself enough. You know, not believing that I could do it, and like knowing damn well I can. So them three are probably like the biggest obstacles. It's myself, gatekeeping, and exposure.
You know, I personally think that you have made great strides in terms of becoming an artist and actually doing the things that you say you want to do.
Right.
Because a lot of people, they're sitting at home and they're watching you now and they're saying, yo, how do I get to what he's doing right now?
Yeah.
So for those people, what advice would you give them?
Like I said, I know it's very cliche and everybody say it, but believe in yourself. Take the chances, take the risk. Sometimes if you got a job, you may have to choose between the Westleaf interview or your 9 to 5. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like if the interview is really what you want to do and that could take you further, you may have to call out of work that day or you may have to get fired and may find a job after your Westleaf interview. So, you know, believe in yourself, take the chances, take the risk, connect yourself with the right people. Also, just shit, man. That's really the main ones. Probably those.